Hi, today we're doing easy savoury mince. This is pretty quick and easy. Once again, we've got our onion happening. You can really tell I love peeling onions and chopping them up, can't you? Don't have to be dainty on this one. It can be as chunky as you like it. Just a rough chop. This is the sort of recipe that you can really put anything you like in it. You can, put chilies in it, put extra veggies in it. Do your own thing with it. If you've got veggies that you want to use up in your fridge, instead of using frozen veggies, use your chopped veggies. Chop them up. You can put extra vegetables in there. I know the recipe says one capsicum, but this is a fairly large capsicum that I've got, so I'm only going to use half of it. As you can see, it is cut it in half. That was pretty smart. Most of the seeds are on the other half. Don't throw away these end bits, just trim them off. You can still, yummy flavour there. If you like green capsicums, use green capsicum. Doesn't really matter. Whatever takes your fancy. Because the onion and capsicum's going in together, we can put it into the same bowl. If you prefer it, you could even just slice capsicum. Doesn't matter. Do it your way. One thing you do have to remember, if you're doing your vegetables in large sizes, allow for the cooking time. Naturally, larger pieces are going to take longer. Onion and capsicum chopped, all ready to go. Right, the mixed veggies. As you can see, these are just frozen mixed vegetables. We're going to microwave them so that it makes the whole process that much quicker. Just for a minute. If you're using fresh vegetables, don't need to microwave the veg, but make sure that you allow the extra cooking time. As you can see, it's only just. They're not all wilty and shriveled up or anything. It's just taken that crispness off. Now we want just a bit of parsley. Going to chip and chop that away while that's going. You ever find your chopping board seems to want to run away from you when you're chopping anything? Good idea is those non-slip mats you can buy, and you just cut it to the size of your chopping board and put it under when you're chopping it. Stops it from slipping all over the place. Only from cheap shops. That's about it. And you just mix in your gravy mix. Just mix it around. Beautiful. We'll leave the fork in there. Okay, in goes the olive oil. I'm going to scrape this out because once it's sautéed, we'll put it back into there so it doesn't overcook. Shouldn't take long. Breaking up the onion, moving it around so it doesn't catch. When it starts to change colour, you've got to keep an eye on it because it can sometimes really grab hold like a speeding car, just take off on you. You can do this in a smaller pan. I like the big pans because it's more even. You can spread it out. It just seems to cook a lot quicker. Even a saucepan, you can use a saucepan. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space. Okay, what we're going to do is tip it into the bowl. That's just so that it doesn't overcook. So now we turn the heat up because we want the mincemeat to brown quickly. Bit of smoke coming off from the residue. Chuck in the meat, sizzle, sizzle. Keep breaking it up. You can see how it's browning very quickly because you've got the higher heat. And if you notice, I didn't add any more oil because there's enough fat in the beef. Hope everybody's dealing with the cold weather. I love it personally. I work with a lot of snow bunnies, we call them. Juices brown up on the bottom of the pan. Right, we're going to add our garlic, our curry powder. Sprinkle it over so you get a pretty good place. You can add more curry powder if you like it spicy. You can add chilies, chili flakes, cayenne pepper, anything. Do your thing. This is very forgiving, this recipe. Now, our onion tomato goes back in. Onion and capsicum go back in. I must be wanting a salad. Beautiful. Sometimes when I'm doing these dishes, I so wish it was smell of you. Okay, so now we're going to add Worcestershire, the tomato paste, bit of salt and pepper. I've just got a pinch of both in there. Always, as I always say, you can add salt and pepper. You can't take it out. And now we're going to give this a stir. As you can see, like it's settled on the bottom, so you do need to stir it up. Otherwise you'll leave it behind in your pot. Mix it in. Now this is where you turn your heat down, just to a low. Turn it low. What's going to happen, it's going to sauce up and thicken slightly, and we're just going to let that in a little simmer. Just let it simmer a few minutes. It's bubbling quite fast, so we need to turn it down a bit more. Just let it simmer off for a few minutes. Of course, if you like a lot more gravy. That's fine, you know, you just a little bit more water and even stock, beef stock, and a bit extra gravy mix. If you don't have gravy mix, plain flour and water, that does. Okay, now we're going to add some of the parsley. Not all of it, because you want to hold back a little bit to make it pretty, like a garnish, the garnishing. Just stir it in, because the residual heat will cook that up, permeate the flavours. Like I say, every time, add and take as your own taste buds tell you. Basic recipes are meant for you to find your own little corner, what you like, what you find is the tastiest. And there you have it, it's all done.